What's up, everybody?
What it do? What it is? What is going on? What's up, everybody? Let's get it. Bang, bang, Niner Gang, and listen. What's up, y'all? NFC Championship game. Are you fucking ready?
Are you fucking ready?
Go. Just want to know.
49ers are going to the NFC Championship game.
We're there. We're not going. We're there.
Yeah, that's right.
We're there.
But I think we're on the flight tonight to Philly.
They just
to meet
landed.
the Eagles.
They just landed.
They just landed.
Just
and
landed.
this y'all third one in 4 years. Y'all still get excited about this?
See. It's always got to be a Debbie Downer. Excuse me,
Always got to be some Falcons fan or somebody in
always got to be that one.
NFC South region. I don't know, down in the dumps. Anyway,
I'm not down. We have a D coordinator today. I'm not down.
Anyway,
we've got a packed show for you tonight. We've got three amazing guests, basically opposing fans, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and they're top notch. All right, they're here to bring it. It's not going to be crazy like, you know how we do it, classy. So
shout out to everybody in the chat.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Who do we have? Oh, we got our moderator.
Cinnamon.
Oh, we got Cinnamon.
Big Red.
Big Red.
Mr.
We got
Christian.
We got Miss Deb, our Patreon. We got Antoine.
Antoine, what's up with it?
What's up, everybody? So let's get it. Okay, starting with Ryan from BSing Sports. What up, Ryan?
How's it going, Gina? It's been a long time.
It has. We've worked together before, and I'm just glad that you said yes and are here. So thank you so much.
We appreciate you, man.
My fourth time talking about this game in 3 days, but it never gets old because it's the NFC Championship game. So
there you go.
Yes.
Can't never get old.
Oof. Nope. Especially when we're talking about our teams. Next is
that has been in my family for about 35 years.
That might be the only thing we agree on.
One of those that says New Orleans on it.
We do agree on that. Dallas does fucking suck. Next, I have a guest who I worked with before as well. Jason Vorhees. What's up, Jason?
Jason, what's up, my man?
Thank you guys so much for having me on. Like, as soon as Gina asked me, I'm honored to be here. I love doing shows. As Ryan said, this is my fourth show this week, talking Eagles. I could do 100 shows if people had me. So, thank you.
We definitely appreciate you, boss. Definitely appreciate you.
Awesome. And Rod, do you want to bring in the next guest?
Well, the next guest is my brother, my partner, but he is an Eagles fan. We always talk. We watched the game last year, but this year it's a little different. You know, we rivals again for this game again. It's none other than my boy Dennis Morton. Come on, bring him in. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Dennis Morton, aka Unk. That's my boy.
Boom! There we go. Back at it again. Let's go. Bird gang or no gang? Another gang.
Yes.
I am a bird. I am a bird gang. I guess I respect that.
You just have to chirp in any way you can, huh?
You why am I here?
Bang Niner gang.
I almost put your business out there on the street, but I
know you did.
I'm gonna let you breathe right now.
I saw the look on your face.
What's up, Marcus? One of our moderators. He's got a blue cup.
What's going on, Marcus?
To all the Eagles fans, when you have a blue cup, that means you are in for the night to drink. I don't have a blue cup.
So what's the saying? Does anybody know the saying other than myself? What is it, Jordan? Can you give him the saying?
Blue cups invited, red cups welcome.
So if you have a
Absolutely.
solo, you are
Absolutely.
welcome. I
Team Blue Cup, baby.
usually
Let's go.
a red cup can have whatever you want in it: soda, water, soda, whatever the case may be.
Whatever you
They are
prefer. Oh,
welcome.
but we open the doors right now for our last usher that just walked in right now. The wise of all wise people, the wise soul in the building. Let's get it.
Yo, what up, everybody?
What's up, Wise?
What's going on?
Wise.
He's another co-host, 49er fan.
My brother right there.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, now it feels better now. You know, it was 2-on-3 for a second, but now, all right, now let's go to war. It feels even now. Let's go. Let's go.
Get it.
We have a ref here at the top too.
Right, Jordan.
Right.
So
He has nothing in the game, right? See, Jordan, I'm being nice.
Actually, no.
Nice.
To be fair, I win this weekend either way. I do. I win this weekend.
No, I'm not mad. That's what I'm saying. I feel you.
I'm saying, like, I don't think I told you how I win either way, but I do. I win either way.
How do you win either way?
All right.
Christian on our side.
There's that, but also if the Niners go to the Super Bowl, I probably go. If the Eagles go, my petty side comes out about the whole Kyle Shanahan thing. So
I almost put the other part of your business out there. Your first part is a duh. You know what I'm saying? Duh.
No.
This weekend I feel like Thanos. I am inevitable.
You're done.
Let's get it, baby. Let's go.
All right. So our Patreon members have submitted some questions, which none of the panelists know about. Only I do. So let's just get to it.
Oh, shout out to Brian. Brian, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Danielle, appreciate you too.
What up, Danielle?
What up, Danielle?
One of our Patreon members. All right, so let's get right into it. Now, these questions are open to 49er fans and Eagles fans. And so if it says 49ers, they're also open to Eagles fans to answer, vice versa. All right. So because Eagles fans are our guests, we start with an Eagles fan question. All right. First one up. So Eagles, in this defensive matchup, with whom are you the most concerned in the 49ers defense?
Good question.
I mean, I think it's pretty simple for me. I would say Joey Bosa. I'm Joey.
Nick Bosa.
Disrespect.
I got the
Nicholas
wrong Bosa.
John Bosa.
He has no concerns.
Definitely, probably Nick Bosa, but I would have to give it probably Fred Warner. You know, I think the linebacking crew of the Niners is probably their overall biggest strength.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Damien?
Damien, what's up, homie?
Go ahead.
So I feel like I'm with him. I'm like Nick Bosa. He's gonna be something to deal with on that side. I mean, Malata's gonna be lined up next to him. That's gonna be a tough battle for him throughout the entirety of the game. And I just hope that that Malata's up for that, because he's gonna need eventually somewhere down the line. He's gonna need a little bit of help. So hopefully a double team along the way, something like that, would help him out on especially like third and longs, something like that, because Nick Bosa is really gonna try to get after him. So yeah, Nick Bosa would definitely be the one for me, and Williams too. Williams, he's a force too, young buck. So
I'm going to have to take Jason's side here. I'm definitely thinking the linebackers, specifically Fred Warner, but the Eagles' strength is running the football and Jason Kelce's ability to get to the second level. And you don't see a team like the 49ers that have two very good, if not elite linebackers. It's the best linebacking duo in the NFL. So it's going to be difficult to be able to run the football against them.
Yeah. Wise, Rod, Jordan, want to add to that?
You know what I love? So as soon as I made a tweet saying I was going to be on the show, Jason followed me right off rip. And I'm so happy that he did, because already we're on the same page as well. I really do think the biggest the biggest thing or most concerning thing is going to be the 49ers and their linebackers against this offense. That's Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. The reason why, if you look at what the Eagles do, quote unquote, their offensive scheme is not that difficult. But because they have so many options off of every single thing that they do, it can be difficult. And one of the things that's most important is your eyes and your discipline, especially that second level. And so I really do think it's going to come down to, well, do you think that how much do you trust the 49ers linebackers for their eyes to be right? Which I really do. And I think, for the Eagles fans, I'm willing to bet you do too. Some of those things where, some of the other teams that the Eagles have played this year, their eyes might not be the right thing. They might not trust their right reads or things like that, where the Niners, especially coached by D'Amico Ryans, who was an all-pro linebacker himself, is they're going to have a lot more confidence in what they see and what they're supposed to do. So that's probably, I fully agree that those two in particular, that's where the biggest thing is going to be. Because at the end of the day, I trust this Eagles offensive line. And again, Nick Bosa, he's a game record. But at the end of the day, I still think that I trust the Eagles offensive line to make things happen for that. So it's that second level for San Francisco.
Wise.
I mean, I could give you the easy answer and just say Nick Bosa, but I'm not going to do that. Actually, I think Eric Armstead. I think if he can get some push up the middle and get real disruptive, I think that could be a matchup they really should be concerned with, because I'm not saying Eric is due for a big game, but Eric is kind of due for a big game. And coming inside, I think, pause. I think, sorry about that. But I think he'll definitely impact the game big time this weekend. And I'm looking forward to it, because my guy Eric needs to come through for me. So.
Well, then you can say Nick Bosa is due for a big game too. He hasn't had one yet this playoffs.
Yeah, he hasn't had a sack in the playoffs. He
hasn't balled out yet. You are exactly correct.
I think he's due for at least one. The one thing too is the Eagles' offensive line has been really good. This is going to be probably the best matchup in the entire season. We haven't seen that. Everyone thought that the Niners versus Dallas was going to be, this, the matchup of the season. I mean, obviously the best defenses, and we saw Brock Purdy not even throw a single touchdown, and so now this is like the biggest test. Jalen Hurd running, scrambling, what he's done with running the ball. I mean, I get scared of seeing what our defense is going to do, even just our middle linebackers. Are we going to be able to stop him? So if we can just get to him early, Nick Bosa, Ebukam, I think he is going to be probably one of the, guys to look for. Maybe he can, while they're holding, I'm sorry, but they do hold Bosa a lot. We got lucky with that one call last week with, with that call. I mean, I think if one of the other guys can sack Hurts, then, maybe that'll stop him, but it's going to be hard, for us. But yeah, maybe Ebukam can help out. Maybe Armstead for sure.
Indeed. I don't even think they have to necessarily get home all the time. It's the pressure. I think that is really, if we can apply that pressure and get Jalen out of rhythm, I think that'll be good enough, this weekend. So
like we did with Geno.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean that Seahawks O-line, that's
it's not the same.
They're good. Yeah. I thought you said Eagles. Sorry, I thought you said Eagles.
I was like Seattle.
No, I thought you said Eagles.
It's a different world.
Indeed.
Yeah. Any more thoughts on that one, or should we move to the next one?
Oh, actually, I mean, I'll put it this way too. I would say second on the list. I know it's not I know it's only who's the most concerned, but second is, I mean, everyone's talking about getting home. I saw a stat earlier this week that talked about how the 49ers, everyone knows the 49ers are the best defense in the NFL. I'm not going to be here to argue that, say otherwise. But one place they have struggled is when you try to throw the ball down the field on them. And that's why I think the matchup in the trenches, especially this one, is so interesting because, well, I think you have the offensive line that is the best suited to kind of hold off on that pressure that the Niners can cause up front. So it's like, okay, well, if they do that, the Niners are pretty suitable when you throw the ball deep. Like they're ranked in like the mid-20s when it comes in defensive wise when it comes to throwing the ball down the field. And we all know the Eagles and their weapons, whether it's A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, plus Watkins. He's the burner that can make things happen. Even Dallas Goedert can help things stretch down the field. That could be a problem. That's why I'm really interested. I'm really excited also to see this matchup too.
I feel the same way that you do. I feel like when it comes to y'all do have some issues with with the deep ball threat, but the dings and dunks that are in the middle that Jalen Hurts, he's going to attempt them initially at the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. I will be crazy to think that he's not going to. But I also feel like the play calling will allow some of those dings and dunks to go just over the linebacker's head and not too deep. So I feel like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown will pull the safeties, pull the corners out, and then Dallas Goedert or Quez, depending on how many receivers we got out there at the time, we'll do shallow outs, not too far, but not too in either, just to dings and dunks just over their head to gain a little bit of yardage. So, but eventually that will get they'll tie into that and they'll start to catch hold of that, and then after that, will the linebackers then move back a little bit and then allow the dings and dunks? Don't know, but it's very possible. So
no, that's very fair. The one thing I will say is and just for me understanding Nick Sirianni the way I do, obviously I haven't watched the Eagles that closely here, but he seems to be a pretty cocky, confident kind of. I would not be surprised if early on the Eagles try to go with one of those deep crossers again, against the just because he wants to set the tempo of we're not that afraid of this pass rush. We trust our offensive line and make it happen, make it work. Because even if you're talking about having the linebackers drop, I know we all saw the play that Fred Warner made to line up, mugging up in the A-gap, and then still finds a way to be perfectly in line with CeeDee Lamb running down the seam and be there perfectly for that play. So it's not that the Niners linebackers can't make that drop because we've seen them do it. So I think now it's a matter of fact of them kind of saying no, I think we got you on this. Let's try this early.
Good observation.
Look, that's that Stanford insight right there. Look at Jordan.
Hey, I watched tape.
Hey, look at Jordan. Look at Jordan.
Smash that like button, you guys.
Yeah, if you're out there, smash that like button, man. Subscribe.
Do it.
I know you're watching.
Please do.
They
Please do. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Trust me, they're not missing out on nothing. Trust me. I mean, they are missing out if they haven't.
Wait a minute. This is the start. You know how we do.
My bad. I don't have my robot suit on tonight. I apologize. My bad.
He's got a migraine, everybody.
Fighting through it. Trust me, I'm fighting through this right now. Let's go.
Flu game for Rod. It's the flu game.
We appreciate you, Rod. Yeah. So this goes out to the whole panel. Brock has so many weapons, right? Who do you feel will have the greatest impact on Sunday against the Eagles defense and why?
Juwan Jennings.
Third and Juwan.
I would have said that before it was announced that Avonte Maddox is playing this game, but since he's in the game, since he's in the game, I'm probably gonna have to go Debo really because you see a lot of soft coverage, you see a lot of off coverage, and that gives Debo a chance to do his thing of catch and run after the catch. Right, we've seen him make so many people miss so many tackles, and if you're playing 7, 8, 9, 10 yards off Debo, and he catches one of those screen passes, he's liable to take it to the house anytime. So I feel like that Debo's probably going to cause the biggest matchup on the outside, and then there's Christian McCaffrey as a close second, but.
Yeah, I think of.
I'm sorry. No,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
I'm going to go a little different direction. I think Debo, he obviously scares me. Their weapons scare me as an Eagles fan, but I'm looking at Kittle because I just look at what he's done the past 5 weeks. I think he's been a matchup nightmare for a lot of teams. And Eagles linebackers, although they've played really well this season, I don't look at the Eagles linebackers as a strength. I would say our defensive line and our corners are our strength. So I think he'll be able to kind of be a mismatch there against, over those seams, because that's what he does. He does that work up the seams, and that's sometimes where the Eagles struggle. So that's to me, the biggest concern. I would say Christian McCaffrey, but I know he's been plagued. He's kind of been limited in practice. I think the Eagles will be able to. The problem with Christian McCaffrey is he can have one of those games where he goes off. And if it's that kind of game, yes, he could be that nightmare as well. So those two are the guys I'm definitely fearful of the most.
Well, I'm in agreement with both of you all, but I'm on the different spectrum. I feel like if you let Christian McCaffrey get going, it's going to be ugly for us because if that man gets going as the run, now mind you, Debo can play running back too, y'all. So I understand what you're saying with Debo, but if that man Christian McCaffrey gets going, it's going to be hurtful because then those linebackers are going to pull up, and that's when Kittle's going to go off. So to me, just my personal view, Christian McCaffrey is that guy to watch out for. If we let that dude get going and get bust out 4 and 5 yard runs at a time, it's going to be a long day for us. I'm just saying.
I think the fact that 3 Eagles fans just gave you 3 different answers should tell you everything you need to know about the
I was thinking the same thing right now in my head. I was like that's crazy how many weapons everybody just said. I was like, pick your poison. Also, we got to remember too, this is the thing that I'm finally getting happy with. Ayuk is finally getting his feet. Him and Brock, they're finally getting somewhat of a chemistry together. And I feel like if you let Ayuk get going, it can be a recipe for disaster too. I know what he possesses. This is a big game. I'm in a blocking game. He's big. He's huge. But he can also be huge catching the ball in key moments. That's the reason why I brought up Juwan Jennings as well, because blocking wise, he's a big, receiver. Good luck if you want to, go against him as far as running down the field blocking wise and having to, deflect off of him. I just think that the way that Kyle schemes things up when he's in the game, along with Kittle, you know what I'm saying? It's a scary situation because you can put Kittle in the middle. Then if you want to get design heavy, you can have Gray run right up the middle. You run and seam. Hey, go do a route. Just run. And that can open up so much in the middle. So that's where I think IU can take advantage of a lot of things in the middle. We'll see. It's all about execution this weekend.
I think it's pretty easy for me. And again, this is not the bias, not the Stanford bias. It's easy. It's Christian McCaffrey. The reason why, even you look at last year again. So let's go back to last year when these two teams played against each other. The biggest difference with the Eagles defense then and now, at least in terms of stopping the run, they don't do that 5D line. They didn't do that 5D line front basically last year like they do this year. And the reason why they started doing it this year is because they need to stop the run. Now, we all know how good the Eagles are up front, but here's the challenge of if you do that, right? So it's basically 5-on-5, right? O-line versus D-line. If one person's out that gap, that's a problem. And we all know how explosive Christian is if you get into that second level. He can make one person miss, and then he's out of there. So that is really the biggest challenge, I would say, with or the biggest threat, I would say, with the Eagles and the Zeke. Because again, let's look at last year. When they played the Eagles last year, I think Elijah Mitchell had 17 carries for 44 yards. Really did not do that much. But now you bring a whole different level of electricity in that backfield. So I think it really does come down to him. We'll see. I really do think that the Eagles, even if they do that 5-man front, they're going to sell out on the run early because they do trust the secondary. They have every reason to trust that secondary. And we know a lot of times as of late, Kyle Shanahan, he likes to start passing early to set up the run. That's kind of been one of his things to open up the field. So we'll see if that happens again on Sunday.
It's crazy how much trust that he has in Brock and how they quote unquote see it the same. Him and Kyle see the same on the field. That's the part that kind of, I hope that doesn't become detrimental to us when you speak that highly on a quarterback, especially as a rookie. That's the part that I just hope that he doesn't try to get too crazy with his designs and just stick to what works.
Mm-hmm.
Just stick to what works. This is what got us here. If you run the ball, run the ball.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, even going back to before Brock came in, even when Jimmy was there, that's one of the things they started doing was start passing early to open up the defense, and then you establish the run after that to counter off of it. So that's the thing for me. And then also, I don't think it's really even Kyle trusting Brock. And I'm not saying he doesn't, because he absolutely does. This is Kyle Shanahan trusting Kyle Shanahan. Like that. Let's make sure we get that one thing clear.
But I noticed Kyle would always go back to the passing game in the fourth quarter. Why would he always abandon the run game?
Well, again, it all depends. So, like, usually the way it starts off, right? First quarter, every single coach play call, yada yada. You have your script. All right, these are the first 15, 20, whatever plays we're gonna run. Then after that, you kind of go off of that. So what I'm saying is, a lot of times, especially as of late, what Kyle will do is we're going to call all these pass plays. I'm going to set it up, establish things off of this. And then, hey, if we can open up the defense, we're having success with that, we're going to run the ball. Now, of course, just like the offense can make adjustments, the defense makes adjustments. So all of a sudden, it's like, well, they're running against us. We need to start shutting down and locking down against the run. Well, it's like, all right, well, cool. If you're going to do that, you remember all those weapons we were just talking about? Cool, you're going to do that? You're going to give us IU one-on-one, give us Debo one-on-one, or Kittle, or whomever? We'll take advantage of it. So that's probably the reason why.
Yeah. Quick shout out to Eric Wallace, our Seahawks fan in the chat room, and Jorge and Fernando. What's up, Bebop?
Bebop, what up, homie?
What's happening?
Jorge, what up, homie?
So, yeah, this is all some good shit we're talking about here. And yeah, feel free to swear on this. We don't care. This is
I won't do
explicit
that until
language.
we start talking about the Eagles' special teams. That's
Yeah, you ain't lying, man. I'm waiting for that to come out because I'm damn sure gonna be like, what's our fucking special teams, bro? God,
I don't care how you shape this game up. The biggest disadvantage in the whole game for the Eagles is their special teams. I don't know how they graded out at 31st. They should have been 32nd. I don't know who was worse than them. Ain't no way.
Go ahead. Let's talk about it. This ain't scripted.
I'll say this though. When it comes to our special teams, especially in the playoffs, we might be 31st if y'all are 32nd, because we haven't been doing good as well in our special teams.
Yeah, we don't
kickoffs,
need a muff.
We've been giving up a bunch. So
Kervontae Turpin, if he has any awareness, that's a touchdown. Any awareness.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
He's so good.
Go outside.
He could have gone outside. Either way.
Oh my! When he ran inside and ran against kick, I was like, "What is he doing? What is he doing?"
But
I was like, "You know what? Good. You know what? They self-destruct. That's right. Hold that head up, bro. Hold that head up."
Dallas will do Dallas things.
That's
they're definitely gonna cowboy. I don't even know why they're topic anymore.
The same.
I like that.
We just got to make sure that everything is contained within. Everybody follow the script as far as it's supposed to go. Stop getting so super excited, missing your lanes and everything like that.
He just knew that
stick
was to the house too.
Script. Stick to the script.
I even said it I said at the show that we had before that game that special teams is going to be a difference. I said I have a feeling Kervontae Turpin's going to take one to the crib, and he should have.
Yeah.
That's actually two.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that one in particular, as soon as
that one in particular,
that touchdown, they should have went right back down and scored one themselves.
Good thing they didn't, though. I just wanted them boys out of there. I just want them. I don't care. I just wanted them out. If it's one team and my other two brothers, they know I hate them both. With every ounce of passion in my body, I can't stand them. I don't ever want them to get a first down. Nothing. I don't want nothing.
Same.
There were
That
actually
sounds like a
Eagles
Philly
fans
man
like
right
hoping
there.
that the Cowboys
Yep.
won that game, and I was like, "What are you talking about, man? Ain't no way in
Absolutely.
hell I'm ever going to root for them."
Right.
Hell no.
That was crazy for me to hear that too. I was like, huh?
Y'all must have wanted them to win. They must have wanted them to win just so y'all can knock him out. That must be the only reason.
That was the logic behind it. But never in my life would I. No.
Not for
Now,
a
I'm not
rival.
gonna-
That doesn't
I'm
make
not gonna-
sense.
No,
I'm not gonna
trust me, I
say-
agree. I agree.
No, I'm not gonna say that would be the most televised sports event this year. The Cowboys and Eagles. It
You
would be
think
the
these
most televised.
NFC Championship game tickets are expensive?
I'm trying to tell
Imagine
you.
if Dallas came into Philly for it.
Oh my God,
Bruh.
that would be huge.
Hey, listen, all I know is I don't care about watching the game. Can I just get a camera on the stands? That's where the real battle will be happening.
Yeah. Hey, you already know we got
Oh,
jail
well.
cell down there, so you know.
Doesn't matter. They're gone. So
Yep.
doesn't matter. Oh well.
Yeah.
They're right here.
The minions are out there. The minions in the back of us. In the
They
rear
watching
view.
the show right now.
They're
They got no game to get
they're
ready
right here on
for.
the couch next to me
Yeah.
With popcorn.
and the blue cup.
Here's an Eagles question. What do you think is key for the Eagles to be the first team to beat Brock Purdy?
Who wants to go first?
Good
I was gonna say.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
I would say, first of all, I don't think that in his short sample size, he has faced a crowd that he's going to face when he goes into the link, especially in an NFC Championship game.
I agree.
I think with that crowd and putting pressure on him, which obviously is our strength, our defensive line, I firmly believe that will and can be the difference in this game. Obviously, all these types of high stake games, it always comes down to turnovers. And I think if we can put pressure on him, he could possibly throw an interception. I know he's been very good with limiting turnovers. I think he only has 3 interceptions in his 8 games.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a good possibility that we can, rattle his cage. Because, like I said, you can't script and you can't, know what this is going to be until you're actually there. I know. And I will say I like what he's done under, he has a lot of composure. And, as an outsider, obviously, I don't watch 49ers games. I mean, for a young kid, last pick in the NFL draft, to be able to come in and do what he's done, I have to give the guy kudos. I have to. I can't say, it's a fluke. But I don't think he's faced this level of competition defensively. Even Dallas was probably the best that he's faced, and he didn't struggle, but he didn't really do something spectacular that helped them.
Right.
So that's what I think. I think put pressure on him, get him to force the turnover, and that could be the difference.
So I feel like pressure, but our pass rush has got to get there to get him off his mark. Because if we let him sit back and be a pocket passer, that'd be cool. But now you're given an opportunity to pick and choose who he wants to the ball to. So we can get our pass rushers like Riddick. Riddick's got 16 sacks this season. 70 total for the whole crew. But if we have 70 sacks, there's no reason why we can't get that dude at least 3 or 4 times this game. And just to correct, he has 4 interceptions this season out of 7 games. So if we can get him off the mark.
3.
Sure, I'm looking at ESPN right now. It says 4, but
maybe
I could be
1.
wrong. But anyway,
Yes.
But anyway, again, getting him off his mark, get him to dance around because he can move in the pocket. He'll escape. But I feel like on the defensive side of the ball for us, we're gonna be adamant. Just like he said, he played a decent game against Dallas, and just like you said, Dallas is probably arguably one of the hardest defenses he played. He played Seattle twice, Arizona, the Raiders, Washington, and Tampa Bay. So he really hasn't been up against a real stern defense like us and the Cowboys. But even when he did go up against the Cowboys, he only scored 19 points. So he's averaging 32 points a game out of the 7 games. but Jalen Hurts is averaging 30, and he's played almost more than double the amount of games. So to get him off his mark, to get him around moving, and have him try to think in a hostile environment, I think that's going to pay off for us. So we got to get him off his mark.
Yeah, I would agree with the pressure there. And from what I saw last game, especially when you get Brock Purdy out to his left, he gets a little jittery, and he definitely got away with a couple throws last week that he shouldn't have.
Thank
And
you.
I will tell you this, like, the Cowboys do have a very good defense. It's not the Eagles' defense. The Eagles obviously have the best complete pass rush in the NFL. If they can get Purdy out to the left, and if my numbers are correct, Hassan Reddick does line up on the right tackle more often, pushing Purdy to his left. That's going to be a problem for the 49ers because those dropped interceptions that the Cowboys had last week, make no mistake about it, Slay and Bradbury are not going to drop those passes.
So just for a show of hands, raise your hand here if you've seen Coach Carter, the movie. All right, cool. So there's a part right towards the end of the movie. They're in the state tournament. They're going against that dude Ty Crane, right? And he's going off timeout, right? Coach Carter's going over. He's in the timeout huddle, and he's talking to Junior Battle. He says, "Junior, just keep doing what you're doing." That's the same thing I would say to the Eagles. Keep doing what you're doing. Rush the passer. That is the best thing you can do to affect Brock Purdy. The reason why I say this, like, I know y'all were talking about how he has, I think, 4 interceptions in his starts. I don't look at interception numbers. I look at turnover-worthy passes. He's had a whole lot more interception-worthy passes than the ones that have actually been caught. And that's something that, in my opinion, from what I've been watching, they've been kind of increasing. The rate's been increasing the longer this has been going on. So part of that, too, has also been because, well, some of the pass rushes that he's seen have been getting better since he's been going on, right? So, I mean, we think about it. He's first started off with Tampa Bay. Well, we already know Tampa Bay, Shaq Barrett, that's their best pass rusher. He wasn't there. You went against the Raiders. That was Max Crosby, right? They kind of get after him just a little bit. You started going after the Seahawks. The Seahawks started getting pressure. Then there's the best pass rush that he's seen so far, which was the Cowboys. Now here you are with the best team in the NFL in terms of actually getting home when they rush, which is the Eagles. So let's see how he does against that. So that's the thing for me, because like technically the numbers say the Cowboys have a better pressure rate than the Eagles do. They have a much better sack rate than the Cowboys do. So when they rush, they actually get home. So that's my thing. They just got to keep doing what they do.
Hey, congratulations. You played yourself to Marcus for the Coach Cater reference instead of Carter. And then you told him to do better.
Sorry.
Like you gotta remember what you typed, Marcus, before you tell somebody to do better.
I'm dying right now.
I'm just gonna tell you that one.
The comments are killing me right now.
And I'm also
You're a little
either,
quick.
So there's that too, Marcus. I am doing better. I would love, one of these days we're gonna have Marcus in here on the show and have him try to have a conversation about football with me. Let's see how that goes.
Hey, shout out to the 19 people viewing this. You guys got to hit the like button right now. We got Eagles fans in here, man. They're repping their team hardcore.
Here it is.
What's up? Come on, Niners, Eagles, NFC Championship, number 1 seed, number 2 seed. You know how much work it took to get here for us too? I mean, we're fans that have been struggling, waiting for our teams to get here. Anyway.
Oh, your team is still so good, Gina. I'm so sorry for your struggle.
Shut up.
I'm so sorry.
3 out of 4 seasons, man. I mean, it's just a struggle to try to get to the Super Bowl and win.
You know what? So we have this saying in the South, and I'm gonna give it to you. Bless your heart. All right, bless your heart. I feel so bad for you. Bless your heart.
I just want the 6th Lombardi back home where it belongs.
I want one.
Keep on praying.
I don't think
up, Lord Vaco?
You're muted down there.
You're unmuted.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Me?
Dennis, you're muted.
Yeah, it was
If you're trying to speak.
Yep.
DJ Ryan, what up?
I can hear him.
We can't hear you.
Like, yes.
Sound like you're in a pool or something. If that's
Yeah.
the case. You were muted.
Am I muted now?
There we go.
Nope.
Good.
We're good.
Lord Vaco, I am not your future wife.
All right, so look, let's make no mistake about it. Brock Purdy, what he's done so far has been phenomenal. Like, you know, being Mr. Relevant and all that stuff. I take nothing away from that young man at all. And when I say at all, I mean, I can't take nothing away from him. But I will say this. The man has only played 7 games. That's it. We're viewing his whole NFL career off 7 games. He's bound to have a bad game. It's bound to happen. So on the biggest stage of his football career, he's not going to come out right now and be flawless. He's going to have some mistakes. And those mistakes could potentially cost him the game, whatever they may be, and whenever they happen. So, again, great guy. Take nothing away from him. And, you know, hopefully he's a starter on the team somewhere. But maybe even y'all's, I don't know. But I don't know how it's going to work. But all I would say is he's bound and destined to have a bad game.
I'm glad you said that. I feel like last week was his bound to have a bad game because he didn't play all that great against Dallas.
Why?
Now, hold on. It's funny that you bring up Brock Purdy and what he's done. But Brock Purdy also has one more win than somebody in the playoffs right now.
Oh, we're not doing this.
We are doing this.
Oh, my
yes, we are doing this. Yes, we are.
He has to have one more.
Hold on.
He has to have one more in the playoffs. Jalen had more in the regular season.
Hold on. And that is beautiful. At the end of the day, both guys have not seen both of these teams. This is a new season, correct? From both sides, right? So if we're both stacked, then we both haven't seen it. Both quarterbacks have not been in this game before. So this is 0-0, regardless of how you want to look at it. And because we're calling it, oh, it's the 7th game. What is he gonna do? Let's not act like Hurts has been here. This is his first one. So that's all I'm saying. This is an even matchup right now. That's all I'm saying. He hasn't seen a defense like this at all. Period.
I will give you that.
So that's why I'm just saying.
Very good.
Let's pump the brakes now.
Very good point.
It's funny that's been said twice, once about each side. But let me remind you that Jalen Hurts faces the number 2 defense in practice every day, and Brock Purdy faces the number 1 practice. They've seen defenses like this every day during the week.
I agree. So that's why I call it even. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just making sure that we put a little, context to what we're talking about, because both quarterbacks haven't seen the NFC Championship. So this is a whole new, thing that either team hasn't seen. They haven't been on this level. The atmospheres on both ends. Just because you're at home playing, you also got a whole bunch of pressure behind you that you got to go through too. You still got to play against this number 1 defense that you haven't played. So it's just a mere fact of, hey, it's an even game.
So
all I'm saying.
I just want to put this out, and this is like my little, for clarification, for context. And as Rod, Gina, y'all know I've said this plenty of times before. You have to stop talking about what quarterbacks face in practice, because it is not the same thing that they see when they go in the game. I said it before, like that. So just for for the Eagles fans to hear, for context, when Brock Purdy first started, I said the same thing for Brock Purdy. He goes up against the number 1 defense in practice. I'm like, I do not care. That's not the same thing. It's literally not the same thing of like going and getting the live bullets in the game. So I just want to make that context, make that clarification. That's just like one of those things, again, as like, that's just a me thing, whereas whenever I hear that and say who so and so goes up against this defense or that,
yeah,
it irks me. So I just had to say that.
All right.
So could the X factor actually be the Eagles' defensive backs coach, who actually coached Brock Purdy at Iowa State?
Ooh,
that he did.
I'm pretty sure that he knows some tendencies that maybe the average coach on another team wouldn't know. Just saying, just throwing that out there. I'm not, and Rod, to your point, I think, yes, it's even in that it's the number 1 versus the number 2 seed, but I think Jalen Hurts in the past, what he's done in the past, making the playoffs last year, obviously in a loss, but getting the team to that level, and then seeing his maturation this year and basically being 15-1. I don't think you could say they're equal, him and Purdy. I mean, Purdy, like I said, I'm not taking away what he's done.
I agree. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has performed on a big stage, albeit college, but I get it's not the same as the NFL. But he has played in giant games, so it's not like this
several times.
Yes. I just think it's hard for me to kind of compare them and say that they're equal. Listen, and like I said, I could be wrong. I just think at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts has shown, if any quarterback out there has shown an ability to be calm when the stakes are high, it's Jalen Hurts.
Well, the other side of that too is we've seen Jalen Hurts, and like I'm just going back to the college point that you made. We've seen Jalen Hurts be on both sides of that, right? Like we saw when he got benched for Tua in the national championship against Georgia. Then Tua obviously makes that cover 2 shot to Devontae that wins the game. We also saw when Tua gets hurt.
To who?
You said to Devontae. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I got you. I know. But we also saw Tua get hurt in an SEC championship game that next year against Georgia. Guess who comes in off the bench and make things happen so that way Alabama even gets to the national championship game that year? It was Jalen Hurts. You heard Nick Saban talk about it. Like, he's so proud of him, the leadership, yada, yada, XYZ, right? All the things that you talk about. So, no, I mean, so to your point, that's the thing that I get it. You know, Jalen didn't look the best in the playoffs last year. But to your point, like, if there's anyone that has experience about having a situation, seeing it, and not being rattled, it is going to be Jalen Hurts. And Big Red, I just want to make one point for you, too. I want to make one point. Well, the Eagles, yeah, they lost to that defense. Do you know what the quarterback was for the Eagles when they lost to that defense? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Jalen Hurts. All right, so let's make sure that
they also beat that same defense too. And
yes. But I'm saying, like, since he's talking about them losing, I was like, all right, let's talk about the game that they lost.
So, well, how about a 49ers question? Kyle uses pre-snap motion to confuse the opposing team's defense. How do you think this will fare against the Eagles' top 10 run defense?
The Eagles are one of the most confused defenses when they have a motion going in. That's a fact. It's been shown that they're one of them. We run one of the most complicated offenses when it comes to that. So you really don't know where the ball is. And then on top of that, you have Kyle doing the play. So that's the part where it's going to get good, because now you get to see the chess game. Mm-hmm. You know, which one is going to work, what's not going to work.
So this is where, like, I wanted to talk about the whole 5-man front earlier, because I feel like even if the Eagles, they sometimes have struggles against the run because of how they line up, the pre-snap motion actually would affect them the least, because it literally is gap responsibility. And you already have your gaps kind of filled up front already as it is, because you lineman on lineman on lineman on lineman on lineman, like 5 on 5, right? So that's the thing for me, where I just feel like I get why it happens. And I mean, you think about some of the other defenses that the Niners go against. They're usually 3-4 bases or 4-3 bases. So you have a lot of eyes in the backfield. When your hand's in the dirt, you got nowhere to look but that person lined up in front of you. So that the thing for me is, like, usually I'd say there's something, but I think technically in this matchup, it doesn't matter as much. It just matters who's going to be the better person up front.
Which goes right back to the pressure that we talked about earlier. If we can get a pressure up front, I think all that stuff. Well, I'm not gonna say the pre-snap motion won't be negated, but I think it'll be disrupted, pulling him off his mark again, and potentially either running for his life. Because when Brock Purdy runs, he runs decent, but he doesn't run. He runs to save himself. He doesn't run to extend a play. You know, if you understand what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts will run, he'll run and get you 5, 10, or 7, 8 yards to slide down and get down. Brock Purdy's run, but he's still looking. Brock Purdy's running to say, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. And I feel like sometimes he doesn't keep his eyes downfield, and all he's focused about is just the run. So granted, you guys may have somebody open, but at the same time, he's not looking at them. So
I think what also hurts Brock Purdy when you speak of that is that when he does have the time, it's finding the actual guy that is open. There's been a couple of plays that I've seen him scramble out, and the reason why he scrambled out is because his first throw was actually open, and why he didn't throw it, pull the trigger, maybe he just doesn't see it that way yet, and that's the part of his maturation that just hasn't caught up. I don't know yet, but that sometimes can get him in trouble. I think trying to play that cap to save him type football doesn't always work, and that can be a recipe for disaster if he doesn't get it together. So,
well, that's the blessing
Can
and the curse of why the Niners are here, right? Part of that football that he plays is the reason why they're here. It could also be the reason why you go home earlier than you expect to.
See, I see Brock scanning the field, and that's why he was able to get the ball out and get it. The receivers were able to get it caught. So,
it's a mix.
Yeah,
it's a mix.
Yeah.
Like, there's one play I remember in particular last week. He rolled out to his left. And if he would have looked there earlier, I think it was Debo that was open underneath. But instead, he was trying to get the big play to Ayuk that was a little further down the field. And because he kept looking at Ayuk the longest of time, he didn't see that Debo was open. So by the time he probably looked down to see Debo, that's when the linebacker for the Cowboys was able to get depth and take that route away.
and
So
he took off and hit the sideline.
It's hit or miss.
Yeah, I agree. So why?
I just think more often than not, he's able to scan the field way better than Jimmy G. I mean, taking a look.
You talking about porn star Jimmy?
I mean, if you take into account the guys we have available, which is Josh Johnson and Brock Purdy.
Well, no,
and the other guys are injured. No, I'm just saying, like, I think he's way his mistakes wise, like he definitely can. I've seen way less of that than I have him. He scans the field way better, and his scrambling is. I've only seen him mess up like that a couple times, and I've seen him extend the play well. Like far often than not.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, he's definitely going to look to extend it. Again, I think that's the reason why this all works out. I mean, you think about the 2 touchdowns he threw in the Seattle game, right, in the playoffs. They were extending the play. He finds Christian in the flat one time. He finds Elijah Mitchell in the flat one time. That's because he's good at extending the play. Now, the thing is, though, the reason why he could extend it is there wasn't as much pressure in his face. Now let's see what happens when he tries to extend the play when there's pressure in his face. You keep looking all around the field to make things happen, or you try to single in one person, and then that's when you make that rookie mistake. Throw it up there, and again, we know how capable this Eagles secondary is of getting turnovers. Again, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he had 6 of them. Darius Slay, shout out Brunswick, Georgia. All those guys in the secondary for Philly.
Yeah, just wonder if we're going to see a shit ton of like check downs and all kinds of shit, like how much pressure the O-line, Eagles O-line is going to bring on him, because I know that it's going to be like that, like at least in the beginning of the game, there's going to be a lot going on. And I imagine some 3 and outs on both sides, in the beginning of the game. I think it might be like 0-0 in the first quarter, maybe 3-3 second quarter, like it's going to be low scoring, I think, in the first half. I really do. And then second half, I think it's going to be amped up. I don't know.
But you know what, though? I feel you, but I also feel like I think the checkdowns would play in y'all's favor.
Yeah.
Give it a buck. Like those small because those small checkdowns are going to again pull our linebackers up. And boom, next thing you know, he's gonna go out for that one hitter, and he just might get it. Maybe. I'm not taking nothing away from Darius Slay, CJ. I'm not taking nothing away from none of them. But those checkdowns, to be honest, it could get him into a rhythm. So that could potentially help y'all. To be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it a beam.
Well, not even that. If you check it down, what are this whole receiving core for the Niners? What are they known as? The Yak brothers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, if you check it down, yeah, it might look like that's going to be a no gain or 1-2 yard gain. All of a sudden, you make one person miss. That's a 6-7 yard gain.
Right.
So that's still okay if you're San Francisco.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah. What's up, Turbo?
Run that back, Turbo.
He's like, wow, you got Eagles fans on here? It's lit tonight, Turbo. Yeah, Rod, you got any thoughts? Why is you're quiet? You got any thoughts on that?
I know this is not like Rod. Like Rod is normally the hypest one in the group.
I got a headache. Trust me. For me being on here right now, trust me.
I have an off the cusp question. I have an off the cusp question for you.
Yeah,
guys.
go for it.
So I've seen like reports about like that, the 49ers would like look to kind of move forward with Brock Purdy and trade Trey Lance. I think that's asinine as an Eagles fan, but I don't know what you guys think. But I mean, to me, Trey Lance is an elite athlete. Like, why would a team want to just like trade the guy that they traded all those assets for because a guy had lightning in a bottle for 7 games and it could finally possibly come to an end this week? Like, I don't know.
Why is you take this one?
Yeah. What's your name right here? What's his name?
Jason,
my guy. Do you know a guy by the name of Dan by chance?
That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's like
that's the only reason why I have my head here. He doesn't notice. Yeah.
Dan the man, he's right here
right now. That's why we're like, God, he loves it.
He's listening right now.
We have to answer this question literally every week.
Every week.
Y'all don't, but not to y'all. You don't know that though.
No, I completely appreciate you asking.
One of our co-hosts.
Oh, okay.
Here it comes. But here it goes.
Here it goes. Here it goes.
Calling the boogeyman. Like,
who said Beetlejuice 3 times?
There you go.
I have been.
I'll just
listening.
hit the mute button. Go ahead, Dan.
I have been. I've been hearing all the commentary, all the good stuff. And
I gotta mute myself.
Did someone mention Trey Lance? I thought I heard someone say Trey Lance.
That would be me.
I don't. We froze up. See, that's what happens when you call Beetlejuice 3 times. Okay, you're screen free. Okay. Continue listening. And I like what you asked about Trey Lance. I'm not going to say anything out of respect for Wise, out of respect for Rod, out of respect for Gina. God. I'm not going to say anything yet about Trey Lance.
Then shut up.
Trust and believe, guys. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm just listening to all the tape. Oh, no, Rod. No, because you know what's coming.
Just answer the question.
You know the question is coming. The question is, the answer to the question is Trey Lance will not be a 49er in 2023 of the 2024 season.
Rod, don't leave us, Rod. Don't come on, man.
My bold prediction is that Trey Lance will be a Miami Dolphin for the upcoming season. I'll leave it there. I don't have to talk about anything else. Like why I said we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right? Cross that bridge.
So Tua's gone.
When we get there.
I'm sorry.
I'm not saying Tua's gone. I'm not saying that Tua's gone, but I'm saying that Tua might have to. He's not going to leave the league by himself. But I truly believe in my heart 1 or 2 more concussions, and they're going to make him leave the game.
I'm sorry.
So,
what up, Patriot Sports?
The Mike McDaniels connection I mean, him and Kyle being homeboys, they'll give him a couple first-round picks for Trey Lance, for good measure. And Brock Purdy is the future QB1 for the 49ers, period. And Jimmy G will be the veteran backup. That's where I'm going with it.
He'll be the Joe Flacco of the Niners.
Oh my gosh!
Now Wise left.
It was just perfect timing.
Yeah.
I'm so
I'm
sorry.
sorry, guys.
Hey, because
My
Marcus understands. Marcus understands Jimmy G's value. Okay, Jimmy G won't cost you a lot of money next year. Brock Purdy is on his rookie deal. Get you some draft capital for Trey Lance, because honestly, no one knows what Trey Lance can do, but everybody knows what Brock Purdy can do. These are the facts.
What can you do?
He wins. He's a winner.
Manager.
Well, they told me Jimmy went. They told me Jimmy.
Biohazard.
Hey.
We know what Jimmy can do.
Same thing I'll say.
I feel you,
too.
Jordan. I mean, I feel you.
So
I'm just telling you that Trey Lance.
They should keep Jimmy and Brock Purdy and have a quarterback competition between the two, and then trade Trey Lance. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying any quarterback controversy. I've already told you, Brock Purdy is the future of the San Francisco 49ers. He's QB1. Jimmy G will be the veteran backup, and Trey Lance will be traded to the Miami Dolphins for a couple of first-round picks in good measure. It's not personal. It's business. It's business.
You know what's funny is like you keep saying it's business, and you're wrong for literally the same reason of saying it's business. That's what makes
that's where I was going. Like, you're not going to get a return on your investment. They spent essentially 3 first-round picks to go up and get Trey Lance, right? And he doesn't have the value because nobody knows what he is. So you're not going to get anywhere close to a return. You got to at least let him play.
I already said
he'll be in the Niner next year.
Hey, real quick. Do you guys like watch shows like First Take and Undisputed?
Yeah, every day.
You guys know like Skip Bayless and all that.
It's my turn.
Right.
Yeah.
This is Dan. Dan's our version of Skip Bayless. He'll say some off the wall shit.
Whoa,
get everybody riled up and hyped up. He don't always believe the shit he's talking about. One, they're not trading Trey Lance. He's on a rookie deal. There's no reason to trade Trey Lance. They can let them compete, find out who does what, who wins. There's no reason to get rid of Trey Lance. He's still on his rookie deal. Brock's on his rookie deal. Jimmy is not coming back to the Niners. It's done. All right. You just let that go. He can go to the Rams and kick it with,
Daniel, I'm not speaking
all those guys over there, but he's not coming back to the Niners. Like,
there was nothing I said that was blasphemous.
I was nice and calm and cool and chilling, and then Dan came in with the craziness.
Jimmy G in the Bay. They love Jimmy G.
No. They don't.
You really
I didn't come in with the craziness.
You did.
I didn't come in with the craziness.
You're talking wild. Like, it's every week it's a new team.
I was chilling.
First he was getting traded to the Rams. Then he was getting traded to Carolina or somebody.
Now
then he was getting traded to to the Dolphins.
Never.
Next week it'll be like, maybe they'll send him to Detroit. It's not. Stop it.
So
Stop
you know doggone well the Rams was a fantasy pick.
Okay,
that was a fantasy.
I couldn't tell
trade.
the way you were selling it. I couldn't tell.
I mean, only because I like
you
to
went
get
3 weeks hard on
49er fan skin. It's easy to do.
But it didn't do anything.
So easy to. But
we were just
look at
like,
how hype you are.
Dan is
All
crazy.
right.
Look, it
anyway,
I'm
this
sorry, I can't stop
we will come back to
I
in
can't.
another combo.
Did y'all hear that sideline arguing? I might see that with them on Sunday.
Jason popped on the show and started violence. He can't wait to peace out.
Jesus.
No, it's fine. But once Dan rose from the dead, it was a whole nother,
And you knew what topic it would be for him to rise from the dead. So you knew what topic. He heard Trey Lance. He popped up. I heard the little ding like Undertaker was coming.
He was like going in convulsions. like
Listen, I thought Undertaker was coming back for WrestleMania again. That's
I was saying, you heard Trey Lance and said, "What?
My moment has arrived."
I was like, Trey.
So So meanwhile, there's a watcher on Twitch who I know from Twitter, and he's like freaking out because he says this is a one-sided conversation, and I'm not putting up what he says on the screen. Like, it's just weird. Thank you, Nate, for helping with that. Anyways, it's just fucking weird. All right, so let's go to another question. And you know what, Jason, you could come back and we could talk about it for like half an hour because Dan loves talking about Trey Lance. It's his favorite.
I was crying. I was laughing.
I'm playing. I'm kidding. So,
man, that was funny.
I know. All right, Eagles. In this battle of the coaches, Kyle got great instincts to exploit weaknesses. How will this skill affect your coach?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a damn good question.
That's a really good question.
Damn.
Yeah. The simple answer is, the Eagles have had very few moments of weakness this year, so good luck finding them. But I think obviously there's a much more complex answer to it than that. Really, we don't know what Sirianni is going to be able to bring at this level because, like it's Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy's first NFC Championship game, it's also Nick Sirianni's, right? He's a huge question mark. We have absolutely no idea how he's going to respond to the pressure, what this hype is. It really all comes down to him. Honestly, I think Nick Sirianni is the key to this game because we've seen Kyle Shanahan in this time before. We know that he can get a team ready for this game. Can Nick Sirianni do the same?
The fun part about – oh, no, go ahead.
I mean, but make no doubt about it. Like, Kyle Shanahan, he's been here before. He's, cooler than the left side of the pillow, like what they say. But the Philadelphia Eagles, we feed off of Nick Sirianni's energy. Like, you saw it last game. You got Nick Sirianni looking, bobbing his head at, they literally feed off his energy. So I feel like as long as he keeps his cool and doesn't panic or for whatever reason, if he may, but I feel like as long as he keeps his cool and maintains a good energy about him, I feel like our team will flow with that and be cool with it. So it's a good question, but again, I don't, as far as a weakness, the only weakness that I think he could exploit is like maybe, kicking the ball out of the end zone or something like that, so that our special teams don't get the ball, or kicking it to our special teams. That's the weakness for us. But anyway, but outside of that, I don't see a weakness that he's going to exploit. Not exploit. I don't know.
So, no, I think both of you guys bring up great points. I think so. I'm going to go a little different approach. I'm going to say we witnessed in 2017 a second-year coach, Doug Peterson, go up against one of the greatest coaches of all time in the Super Bowl and outcoached when he outcoached Belichick. So that gives me hope that it can be done. Will it happen? That's a different story. I think, as Kyle said, the Shanahan is very, obviously has he has a history here of getting his teams up for these games. Obviously, they haven't got over the hump, but it kind of reminds me. It's weird because it kind of gives me harkens back to when Andy Reid had the Eagles in the NFC Championship, 3 years in a row before they were actually able to win an NFC Championship game and get to the Super Bowl. It kind of gives me that vibe. So, I do think the 49ers have the advantage, with coaching. But that being said, I think Sirianni has shown a great ability this year to improve on his, last year rookie, mistakes that he made. And if any coach has shown an ability to make adjustments, it's Sirianni this year. That's why the Eagles are 15-1.
So here's the interesting about that, and I know Marcus is making this point. I just want to put this in here real quick. He's saying like Bill and the Patriots scored 40 points in that game. Okay, well, first off, it's not Bill and the Patriots. Bill works with the defense, so that wasn't him. Bill got 40 points scored on him. To y'all's point about Doug Peterson making his adjustments, the thing for me is you talked about Andy Reid and those NFC championships he went to. I remember the team that he beat to get to that Super Bowl in 2004. And it was also the worst team of all the teams that he played in those NFC championships to get to that Super Bowl. It was the Atlanta Falcons. I remember that because going down the field, I think Brian Dawkins early on in that game sent a message to Algie Crumpler, and that set the tone for the rest of the game. It set the tone for the rest of the game. Now, make no mistake about it. The 2004 Atlanta Falcons, as much as I love them, they don't match up to either of these two teams. They just don't in terms of ability. So I think that's one of the things for me. Also, we're talking about big games. And again, you talk about Nick Sirianni, you haven't seen him in many big games. Well, the other part of it is we've seen Kyle Shanahan in big games. And sometimes what happens is Kyle Shanahan gets in Kyle Shanahan's way. I'm not even talking about a Super Bowl that, if you ask me, it never happened. I'm talking about even if you look at the Super Bowl not being aggressive before halftime, or some other decisions that he's decided to make that actually come back to bite him in the butt. Those are things that, Kyle Shanahan getting Kyle Shanahan's way. So even though he might have more experience, that might not necessarily mean anything because, well, so far to this point, when it comes to taking home the big prize, he hasn't really learned from it just yet.
Yeah, that was good. That was going to be my second point is while Kyle Shanahan has a great record in the playoffs, those two losses, he had the lead in those games, and they ended up not winning those games, particularly that NFC Championship game last year. So he's gotten in his own way a couple times, and not talking about when he was a coordinator, but we know what game we're referencing with that one as well.
It never happened.
Rod, what say you, Rod? What say you?
What say me what?
As far as the question.
If we're going to exploit a weakness, it would be the run game, right up the middle. If anything, which start in the trenches. If that's what we're going to exploit. I mean, you guys are what, 20-something, in the league. We're one of the best running offenses in the league. So I think exploiting up the middle to draw in and see, this is because I know what's going to be said. It could be said on both ends. We both, according to everybody, we both haven't played anybody, but yeah, we're both here, which makes no sense to me. So I'll just put it that way. So, what I'm saying. So it's like when I say that, I say it to say that I think you guys having 70 sacks. I get that. And I think a lot of that with your secondary has fed off of what you guys have done as far as pressure wise. I think if anybody who can exploit that portion of your secondary can be Kyle.
I agree.
That's the part that I hope that can be exploited in this game is that I see the interception. You guys have the interception leader. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly. So it's like I hear that portion of it, but then I also know what Kyle can draw up also that can exploit a whole bunch of holes in people's defenses. So that's the part that I look at.
I'm glad you brought up that strength of schedule nonsense because anybody that talks about that's ridiculous. Like, are the Eagles and Niners supposed to play the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals every goddamn week?
Absolutely.
Like it's
it makes
the NFL.
No
it's
sense.
so hard to win games. If you look at last year to this year, right? Like, yes, there's three teams in a similar position. The Rams ended up winning the Super Bowl. They were the best team in the NFL. What are they now? They would have drafted number 5 overall, but they sold their soul for a Super Bowl. So it's so hard to win in the NFL.
Number 3. It would have been number 3. It would have been number 3. I just want to make sure. I'm a Rams fan, so I want to make sure you get it right. So, it would have been number 3. But we did sell our soul to get a Super Bowl ring, and a lot of teams will do the same thing. So get down with what y'all want to get down with the ring. But, whatever.
So, like, the point is, it is so hard to win in this league. Like, the Bears beat the Niners and damn near beat the Eagles. Like, and what are they drafting? Number 1 overall, right? They're the worst team in the NFL, but yet they beat a team in the NFC Championship game. Like, it's hard to win in the NFL, right? Like they're all professional teams. It's the Giants could have very well beat the Eagles last week, right? The Giants were playing great football going into the playoffs. They got outclassed in every way, shape, or form in that game, but it could have happened. Like it's too hard to win in the NFL to say, oh, well, you played nobody. Well, I guess we're going to go play the Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, and each other every week for the
every
next
single
5 years.
week.
Yeah. Right. Like I got this dude at work named, I'm not gonna say his name, but there's this dude at work. Every week it was, well, I tell you what, Dennis, y'all better beat Green Bay. Y'all better beat Green Bay. Okay, well, we beat Green Bay and they beat y'all. Well, y'all better beat the Giants. Okay, well, we beat the Giants and they beat y'all.
Sounds like a Cowboys fan.
Yo, hey, you better beat the Cowboys. Okay, well, we beat the Cowboys at the beginning of the season. Yeah, well, you better beat them this time. Okay, well, guess what we did? But we beat them the first time. Well, y'all, that's okay though. Y'all better beat the Lions. We beat the Lions and they beat y'all. Yeah, but y'all beat them early in the season. It's the same fucking team. It doesn't matter when you beat them as long as you beat them.
It's any given Sunday. It's any given Sunday.
And he has learned to be a Vikings fan. Boy, if you don't get out my damn face.
Teams aren't even the same throughout the year, right? Like, let's look at a very important statistic for the Niners, right? Every team that the Niners, I think, beat went 0-15 the next week or something like that. Like, that's crazy. You don't ever see stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Chiefs had an off day, and obviously Atlanta lost the last game of the season, or whoever they played week 18. But that's an insane stat, right? That tells me that when teams play the Niners, they don't they get punched in the mouth and they take a while to recover from it. But
they don't recover.
Which makes sense.
Cowboys fans, you ain't played nobody. Well, we beat the Cowboys, so I guess you ain't nobody.
Right.
Exactly.
And then I look at the thing of like at the beginning of the season, everybody had San Diego being good this year. What did they do? You know what I'm saying? You had Tampa Bay. They were supposed to be good. What did they do this year?
I'm gonna laugh.
It's so many things
that thought Matt Ryan was better than Carson Wentz. In your face.
We ain't talking about Matt Ryan. We ain't talking about Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan was trash this year. At the end of the day,
that's his man.
Trash.
Hey, Jordan. They trying it.
They're not trying. Everybody knows he was trash.
Can we be truthful though about him? He wasn't supposed to be the offense. He was supposed to be the final thing of the offense. Where was the running game that was supposed to be there? Where was the offensive line that was supposed to be there? Where was the defense that was supposed to be there? They were all gone.
No,
they were all in the trash.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's not act like 37, 38-year-old Matt Ryan all of a sudden was supposed to be like Matt Ryan with Kyle Shanahan. Because that wasn't supposed to be the case.
Thought, like, the Colts were Super Bowl contenders because they acquired Matt Ryan. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, they're no better than they were last year.
But why did they think that? That's my point. Why did they think
that?
Because you thought the offense was, the running game was going to be better, the offensive line was going to be better, and the defense was going to be better. All three were trash.
Yeah. Matty Trash is what it is. It's not Matty Ice. Matty Trash is what it should be now.
Dennis and I both know we're here in Atlanta. We know how real Falcon fans feel about Matt Ice.
Yeah.
I know you ain't say nothing about no real Falcons fans.
I'm just saying that live here.
Well, you remember what I said a few weeks ago about Falcons fans? Remember that? Top five what?
Yeah.
Most fan bases in the NFL.
You crazy as hell.
What?
Falcons fans.
You crazy as hell.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Crazy as hell. You don't go to no games and say that. That Mercedes-Benz is never filled. Ever.
Never.
Maybe you didn't hear what I said. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. I said Falcons fans were top 5 dumbest fan bases in the NFL.
Okay. It was breaking up. It was breaking up in my side because everybody didn't hear that on my end. I know I didn't hear that. I apologize. I thought you said top. I said
top 5 dumbest fan base.
That was and it broke off right on yours. That's why. I was like,
it cut off.
See, thank you. I wasn't the only one that heard it that way. It was like, top what?
We have one top 5 fan base in Atlanta, and that's for the Braves. All right, that's it. And Atlanta United. That's it.
My bad. My bad.
I don't know. They be rocking hard for the Hawks too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they do.
Man, they gotta be good. They gotta be good for them to rock with them. The Braves, they always rock with the Braves, and they rock with Atlanta United.
Not with the Braves.
Oh yeah, Atlanta United brought them.
Yes, they do.
United games, yes.
Braves
games don't never be packed.
I was
Braves
like
had
when
Braves
Atlanta
games be
United won the
packed.
MLS.
Braves had a top
Tell him,
5
Dennis. Tell him, Dennis.
Hey, I was at the game when they won the MLS Cup as a photographer.
Tell him,
It was
Dennis.
lit.
I'm trying to tell you.
But, hey,
Atlanta, we know.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So that was back when I was in sales, and so I was still out here in
What's up,
California.
49er Bank for life?
I wanted to surprise my parents, right? That was like an early Christmas gift. So when they're still playing New York Red Bulls in the Eastern Conference Championship, I bought tickets for my parents to go to the game, and they said it was 73,000 people in there. It was crazy.
They'd be rocking in there.
Crazy.
Like soccer games is like no other game in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Like no
Especially
football
in
and can't
other
touch soccer in Atlanta. Touch it.
Let's get to it, Gina. Let's go.
All right, let's
Yeah,
do it.
well, actually,
We needed Wise to speak up on that time. I thought Wise was going
Yeah.
to get us back on.
that's all the questions from our Patreon members. So that was a lot, you guys. So let's shoot the shit or whatever.
Oh,
We
I got a
more big
question.
to
No, no,
answer.
no,
Who's
I
winning?
got
What's the
all right.
score?
Yeah, let's do score predictions.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say predictions. So my score prediction is 27-23 Eagles, tight game down to the wire. It's gonna come down to the last drive. That's what I see.
What was the score? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
27-23 Eagles.
Rightfully so. I hope you don't go against your team.
I mean,
Hey,
for
any
all
of you
the
fans
people out there,
Oh, yeah, all right. Any of you fans that go against your team when it's the last four, you're not a real fan. I'm sorry. You're just not. It makes no sense for you to even tell me anything like that. Well, you know what? I'm really going with, the Eagles this week. What? Nah. I won't ever listen to you again.
Hey, that's a Marcus prediction, Rod.
You know what? You're right. But he's not a Niner fan.
He's a Jimmy G fan.
Facts.
Which I don't know why in the world you tie yourself to that.
Don't tell
What's
him
up,
that.
Rick?
Oh, I'll tell him that.
No. I know you will. I'm just saying, let him go with that ship. Let him go with it, please. You support Jimmy G. Okay.
I'm gonna go 2016 Eagles. The reason why I go 16 is just because we've seen it a couple times these last few weeks. For whatever reason the case may be, the Niners do not like scoring touchdowns in the red zone. I feel like the Niners are going to get a lot of drives. They're going to come up short for whatever reason the case may be, and as a result in field goals, it's going to hurt them.
Well,
I've got 21-17 Eagles. I just think it's going to be a defensive battle all the way through, and I think that last touchdown is going to mean, the Eagles – I've seen a trend with the 49ers a bit throughout the year where they struggle against mobile quarterbacks, so to speak, and struggles relative because they're still a very good defense, of course. But I think Jalen Hurts can give them enough fits or take the linebackers' attention away enough that the Eagles should have a slight advantage in that department. So give me 21-17 Eagles.
You heard that, Rod?
The score?
No, I'm saying who they struggle against.
Those mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah, I said
Those
that
mobile
too.
quarterbacks.
That's nothing new.
No, I'm just going to I just remember
Hey,
you
I
said
even said
three.
We've been on that though.
Last time we said 3 of the 4 teams. I said no, it was all 4. Just wanted to put that out there.
I'm saying Marcus Mariota ain't no fucking
debate
mobile
was Marcus
quarterback.
Mariota.
She argued with you, not me.
I said
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
No, you first off, no, you started because you talked about the
He looked like fucking Patrick Mahomes the game he played against us.
You talked about the injuries that they had, and then Gina, for you, let's do this. So the year before Marcus Mariota got to Atlanta, remember the only package that he had for the Raiders when he was there, all he did was run read option. That was literally all he did for the Raiders. And like I said, we played him. Why is this for you? When we played him at Stanford, he won the Heisman. The reason why he won it is because he was mobile. That's why he did it.
I think he went for six carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown against you guys, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that.
Sounds right
And
to me.
Jalen Hurts probably going to carry
He
the ball
looked
more than
like
6 times.
He looked like Jalen Hurts against us.
But the thing, though, for real though,
I
here's
just
the other
hope
part.
That's
8 starters
scary.
aren't going to be down in this game
Right.
either.
We got full
Here-
man on deck.
Here's the thing about it, though. When you do have a mobile quarterback like that, guess what the lanes also open up for? The running backs. Guess what? That's really good running backs. Whether it's Miles Sanders, whether it's Boston Scott, or whether it's what's his name, Gainwell. Like the Eagles have a lot of things. Like I feel like here's the fun part about this matchup. A lot of people for the Niners, they talk about how, all right, cool. You wear them down, right? You start with Christian, then you bring in Elijah Mitchell, or maybe you bring in Jordan Mason. You bring in all these things. The Eagles can do the exact same thing, and they have another weapon on top.
2017 Niners.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
Can you name the running back that ran for over 100 yards on us? Go.
Here's the thing. Why does that matter?
What you just brought up. That's what matters right now.
No,
That's my whole point.
No, that does not matter.
And why are we talking then?
No,
that means that none of this matters in what we're talking about.
If a team can run over 100+ yards on you, why does it matter if one person has that or if it's the whole team that has it?
The same purpose you bring it up in general.
What's up, Chiefs fan?
It's my whole point.
All right, so here's what I'm saying. Here's my whole point. And I know like this has been a big stat for the Niners and everyone loves it. I got you on that. So and just for a second, just take the whole they had 8 starters out of your mind thing. I'm just talking about numbers here, okay? Like specifically numbers, okay? When the Falcons and the Niners played, the Falcons had one person that ran for 59, one for 51, and one for 50. Do you think it makes a big deal that nobody ran for 100, or the big deal is that they ran for 168 as a team?
I said what I said. I said what I said. It doesn't matter. I said what I said.
You can say what you want to say. It's still wrong. If team because here's my point. It's not like every team out there has a Derrick Henry where that's the one person that has that's the running back that takes every single carry. If you have a group that breaks up carries like that, yeah, of course, for the most part, someone's not going to have over 100 yards. I got that. I'm also not trying to sit here and say the Niners don't have a good rush defense. My thing is, if you have these teams that you go against and they divide up carries like that, yeah, for the most part, you're not going to have a 100-yard rusher. It just makes sense.
Well, to your point, and I think this is sometimes misconstrued, but the Eagles actually, as a team, outrushed the Niners. Eagles have the 5th best rushing attack. Now, a lot of that is Jalen Hurts, but you can't discount that. However, I will say that the betting public is actually going with the under on the rushing, on this being a rushing game. So with that being said, I'm going 27-17 Eagles. I think A.J. Brown is going to torch the Niners secondary. I have him going for 2 touchdowns. He was absolutely held down last week, and what I've seen from this guy in 2 games this year where he was held down, his next game he ran for over 100. I mean, he caught multiple double-digit passes for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in both games. So I think A.J. Brown is going to have a huge game, and I think Jalen Hurts will have a huge game. I think it will be 27-17, and the Niners will be driving to kind of make it close. But I think Brock Purdy either turns the ball over with a fumble or it's a interception. So that's what I'm going.
31-17 Niners.
Ooh, I like it. That is spicy.
Ooh, spicy, man.
Woo!
I think we score quick. I think we get the crowd out of it. And then after that, we ride the defense home.
Damn.
4 times this year, the 49ers defense has allowed over 100 yards rushing on the ground. And 1 time they allowed 99. Now, of course, again, like I said, they didn't have a 100-yard rusher. That's a lot of rushing yards. To my point.
Well, I think it starts out slow.
I think the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl because what's
I
the old
agree.
adage? What's the old adage? Defense wins championships. Well, we got
That's
number
right.
1 and number 2 right here.
That's
Indeed.
right.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I totally agree. What do you guys think about the Bengals and the Chiefs? I mean, do you think that that the Chiefs have anything going like with, I mean, I'm not sure about Mahomes, high ankle sprain or anything. I think he'll be fine. And I think they're okay with Chad Henne, but do you think they have I don't know. I just feel like they're hyping up the Bengals so much just because they were in the Super Bowl last year.
Well,
I got the Bengals winning.
It's
Really?
Yes.
So
I got the Bengals winning.
The
I have the
Niners,
Chiefs winning.
the Niners have won how many games in a row now? Was it 12? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Bengals have won 10. Like I feel like it's the quietest 10-game winning streak that anybody has
It is.
heard about
That's
in
true.
history. Now, and it's crazy for me to say this because I know it was the same case last year, right? The Bengals have all these injuries on the offensive line, but somehow, as bad as their offensive line was last year, Joe Burrow and company still found a way to make them get to the Super Bowl. I think the biggest difference, though, this year, the Chiefs have a running game. Like, why is that fair? Who decided that Patrick Mahomes deserves a running game? And the same way we talked about both of these teams and how they have different bodies, yada, yada, that can do it. The Chiefs have different bodies that can do it. Pacheco is more the big body, but he also has his speed. They can give it to Tony outside if they want to do that. They can give it to Sky Moore. He can do those things, make those things happen too. And then obviously, of course, former 49er, Jarrett McKinnon. He can be involved as well. Like, that's just not fair to me. So I feel like there's so many different ways and avenues now that the Chiefs have that can take pressure off of Mahomes, even if his ankle isn't right. But it's going to be fine enough. It'll be fine enough. It won't be 100%, but it'll be fine enough. I'm going Kansas City.
I'm taking
Well,
Kansas
me personally,
City. As well.
I would love for Kansas City to win because I don't want to go up against Joe Burrow. That's just me. So, I mean, if we could get Kansas City in the Super Bowl, if we win the Super Bowl, or if we even make it to the Super Bowl, I'm not discounting either team right now. But if we do make it to the Super Bowl, I definitely want to play Kansas City because I feel like our pass rush gets to Mahomes, and eventually someone's going to wear down that ankle or that high ankle sprain. Someone's going to wear it down. Someone's going to clip it. It's going to get dinged up bad at some point in time in that game. And when it does, that's when we feast. That's just me.
I also have my agenda of I want to see two black quarterbacks going against each other.
Would be nice.
I want to see Patrick Mahomes go up against Jalen Hurts. That'd be really cool to see.
No, it wouldn't be cool to see. I just want to throw that out there. It wouldn't be. No, it wouldn't be. So,
Marcus.
Oh, man.
Marcus, shush.
Marcus,
he's a
lawyer,
49er fan, supposedly. All right. Whatchamacallit? Anyone else?
Damn, we didn't get Dan's prediction though.
Score prediction on the 49ers Philadelphia game. I got it 24-17 Philadelphia. And on the Chiefs and Cincinnati winning that game. That'll probably be a high scoring game. I'm looking at that to probably be 42 to 30 to 38.
Wow.
Cincinnati. 42-38 Cincinnati.
That's why my DFS lineup is basically that whole game. Give me all them points.
It's going to be a shootout. I really believe that's going to be a shootout game.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. If Brock doesn't score any touchdowns this game, we don't have a chance because I already know Jalen's going to be scoring. If he doesn't run him in, he'll be throwing them, and I know he's going to run him in. Our defense would have to be on the field the entire time, and we saw them on the field a lot of the time against Dallas. So, and I was getting really annoyed by that. I was like, "Fuck, dude, they're gonna." They're going to tire out. And I was seeing 3 and outs. And I'm like, fuck, that's not what I want to see for, NFC Championship. At the time I was saying this, I was like, if we win this game. And now I'm like, fuck, I don't want to see that when we go against the Eagles. So It's going to be a good fucking game, guys. Early for us on the West Coast at noon. I'm like, didn't the NFC used to be at night? Like we would know who AFC teams were, and then we would be like, okay, so we know who we're playing. Like before, like I could have sworn it was switched.
Kansas City and the Bills played last.
They played the night game.
No.
They played first, right?
They played a night game.
They flip-flop it every year.
They flipped it. Oh, they always flip
It
flop it?
alternates every year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, I want to say something real quick because Gina, I think you just made a really big point because you talked about the defense being on the field. That's usually what happens for the Niners' advantage. Like you look at their plus minus in terms of turnovers. The 49ers, not only are they do a really good job of getting a lot of first downs and extending drives. Like I think they've only had it's either 24 or 28. One of those two numbers, I can't remember. But they only have like 24 or 28 3 and outs on the year, which is incredible. Now, see, if you add that on top of they're able to force other teams to get 3 and outs or also force other teams to get turnovers, opposing teams' defenses are usually out there for a long time, especially up front, which is why I think this matchup's so interesting. Not only do I think that like Jalen Hurts and the way this offense is set up, I don't think they're going to turn the ball over that much. The Eagles have a good amount of depth up front. And I'm not saying in terms of, because remember, like when Jordan Davis went down, they brought in Ndamukong Suh, they brought in Linval Joseph, all these guys to at least like fill the gap, like quote unquote, fill the gap until Jordan Davis got back. Well, now they're still there. So like, just think all of a sudden you can bring some of those guys fresh and they don't have to play that many plays as they're getting a little older, not to play that many plays so they can still be somewhat fresh. That's something I think that works to the Eagles' advantage that, again, not any other team that the 49ers have played this year have the access and capability of saying.
So questions to the panel. So as far as who's going to be the difference maker on each team's defense?
Jimmy Ward for us. And I say that because whoever is in the slot, I think we find out how good Jimmy Ward actually is. He was one of the top 100 players this year.
Yeah.
Let's see if you really are a top 100 player in that slot of all spots. That's, I think, is arguably the most key spot this game because he's always talking and looking for a challenge. And if he goes up against the tight end for you guys, we'll see. Yeah, I'm just saying we'll see because of how he talks all the time. And that's the part that it scares me at times when Ward talks like that, but then it also, he backs it up. So it's like it sometimes can be detrimental at certain times as well. So,
and then we got our young guy like Lenore, and everyone knows our secondary isn't that great, so they'll feast on us in that area. So it's like we have to really step up.
I would go with so for the 49ers, and again, like I talked about the Eagles, and the big thing about their offense is, again, your eyes and trusting your eye discipline. So for the Niners is Talanoa Hufanga. It'll be really interesting to see what D'Amico Ryans has for him. I think like you might see him at the line of scrimmage a lot this game, just to make things a little bit easier on his eyes, because there's been a couple of times now he gets a little lackadaisical when it comes to eye discipline, and there's some gaps open, down the field in that secondary where he's supposed to be. So we'll see, how they use him, but also how disciplined he can be in the backside. And then, of course, on the other side of it, y'all talked about it. It's supposed to be up and active. How healthy is Avonte Maddox, right? Like, I mean, we know all the different personnel groupings that Kyle Shanahan loves to bring out. If he does love to space the field out, and there's a situation where the Eagles find themselves in man coverage, you got to trust Avonte Maddox that he's going to hold his own. Now, of course, if he's healthy, then I fully believe and understand why Eagles fans will trust him to be okay. But if not, that could be a situation in a matchup that the Niners and Kyle Shanahan will try to exploit.
I got a question. What do you guys do? Let's say if Johnson goes down.
Which Johnson?
On your line, offensive line.
Lane?
Come on,
Lane,
Lane,
yeah.
oh, man, look,
They're screwed.
simple. There ain't no other way to put it.
They're screwed.
We're fucked. I'm gonna tell you. Look, I've had a look, Rod. You are. Let me tell you, my cousin and I, we go back and forth about Lane Johnson every week. I said, cuz he's great, he's phenomenal. But at some point in time, you just have to know that your time is almost over, bro. We got to get somebody in there to replace him. Now, I'm not saying we need to move on from him right this second, but the man, he can't. He's never played a full season, and I don't know how many seasons. Great offensive lineman, I get it, but at some point in time, if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. It's simple. You have to get somebody in there, because guess what? When he went down and Malata came in, he got beat 3 plays in a row by the same person. We got to get somebody in there. I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but I'm telling you right now, if we don't get somebody in there to take over his spot, we're going to be fucked the next 3 years. Tell me.
Well, Lane's already come out and said in an interview that next year's probably his last. So I imagine what's going to happen is how he's going to trade back from 10 to get more to fleece some other idiot team out of giving him more draft capital, because that's what we need. And he's going to draft a tackle probably, right around the 18 to 20 overall area, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think Lane Johnson's replacement is coming in the same fashion that Jason Kelsey's came this past draft.
In the draft, yeah. Okay.
Or, I mean, Broderick Jones could be there right there for y'all.
All right, so my second question is this to you all. It would be, everyone knows Jalen Hurts' contract is coming up, right? So I feel as though Jalen, he's going to want a significant amount of money. But I don't think that he's going to go super crazy on the money, because I feel like he sees what these other quarterbacks have to endure by taking up all the money. I don't think mentally that he's going to allow that to happen to himself. I feel like he's going to sit down, or maybe I'm just speaking off emotion, but I feel like he's going to sit down with all the other people who are due big paydays. But look, if you want to keep this going, this is what we got to do. Work with me. I'm not going to take the majority of the money that everyone thinks I'm going to take. I feel like I only want to take this much. That way, it frees up money to get other people in to sustain what we got. But what do y'all think he's going to do? First, I want to hear my Eagles fans answer first, and then you all can answer second.
Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. So I actually think you're onto something there. I was actually thinking somewhat similar. I think he not only is he a smart guy, I mean, you could just tell by, but it's just his positive attitude and leadership. I don't think, listen, at the end of the day, it's a business. Everybody wants what they deserve. Everybody wants their money. I get that. But I do agree. I think there's a fine line to that. And I think, a lot of these teams are pigeonholing their rosters by going so far full blast with the contracts with these quarterbacks that it makes it almost impossible to compete. So I think, knowing Howie and how smart he is with the cap, I'm sure there's, ways that they could give him an upfront bonus to kind of offset the yearly salary cap. And I'm sure there's something that will happen. I don't know to what level, but yeah, I think you're on to something there, Dennis.
I would like to agree with you, but I think you hit the nail on the head, Jason. Ultimately, this is a business, and the pay cut that we're talking about Jalen Hurts potentially making is like $3 million at best, right? Like, think about the market, right? Dak's making $40 million a year. Jalen's going to get more than that, right? He's not going to get the Mahomes 45, 50. He's going to get somewhere in the middle right there, right? So, but you look at teams like the Bills, right? I just sat here and trashed the Bills on our episode 2 nights ago because if Josh Allen doesn't have a Herculean effort every single game against good teams, they're not going to beat good teams, because outside of him and Stephon Diggs, who they have a bunch of nobodies, and they can't afford anybody. They're already $20 million in cap debt to start the next season. So paying the quarterback, and I've said this earlier in the year, it comes with a great price, right? Like, I think Eagles fans, like, we all want Jalen Hurts to be that good guy to take that pay cut, but any pay cut he takes is not going to make a significant amount of difference. Like, as an Eagles fan, I am wholeheartedly prepared that Devontae Smith is going to walk when his time comes because of this Jalen Hurts contract. Bengals fans need to realize that T. Higgins is probably going to walk when Joe Burrow gets his contract. You just see this trend. And until all the teams in the NFL find their big guy that they want to throw money to, the whole NFL is going to be there's no coincidence that 3 of the 4 teams right now in the conference championship have quarterbacks on rookie deals. Like, they're the best teams in the NFL, right? And you look at the Chiefs, they're coached by arguably the best current head coach and probably the best offensive play caller since Bill Walsh. Like, that's just the reality of the situation and you're not going to be a great team if your quarterback's not on a rookie deal until the whole rest of the league catches up.
Yeah, because if you think about it, coming this year, we're probably going to lose Boston Scott. We're probably going to lose him. We're probably going to lose.
Miles Sanders needs to go. Honestly, like, there's nothing Miles Sanders does that's irreplaceable. I'm not paying a running back, Kareem Hunt, $12 million type stuff if I know I'm giving my quarterback $44 million a year next year. Miles, I love you. You're a great dude. Ain't going to happen.
Well, that's easy to say when you have Kenneth Gainwell.
Right, like Gainwell, like he can feel that. He can easily feel that, I feel like.
Because the offensive line's good, right? The Eagles can run the ball because the offensive line's good, not because the running backs are superstars. It's always nice to have a CMC, but you don't need it with the way that they've built the trenches there.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to hop off because I have to be in work at 5, and I didn't realize we were going to go this long. Yeah, I don't want to I want you guys to enjoy your discussion, but I just didn't want to be rude. But I do got to go, and I figured might as well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys now for having me.
And thank you so much, Jason.
Appreciate you, boss.
You guys
appreciate
are
you.
top notch. I will make sure I share all your content out, and I know Gina. I met Gina, but obviously this is the first time meeting all of you guys. So if I'm not following you guys, make sure to message me so I can. I'll give you a follow, and I'm very big with support. So
appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
We're following
Thank you for
each other.
coming on.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. I so appreciate you.
And I appreciate you guys as well. And
No problem,
and good luck to everybody. I mean, listen, like I said, the 2 best teams. So one of us is unfortunately going to have to lose, but
absolutely,
you guys are great guys. And
good game.
Good
game.
Thank you. We'll have
Sunday, but I'll take it. I appreciate it.
We'll have a good game.
That's right.
See you guys.
Oh man,
Good game. Bye.
But I'll put it this way: I have I feel like there's a positive side of this I can say for Eagles fans, and then there's the negative side of it. And I guess which one do you want to start off first? You want positive or negative?
Give me the veggies first.
You want the negative? Okay. So just a couple states over. I think it's a couple states in my geographies, right? The reason why certain contract negotiations are going down there with a certain quarterbacks because their offense is so dependent on what the quarterback can and can't do, which I feel like is the same thing for the Eagles. I'm talking about Lamar Jackson, right? This offense, the reason why it works as well as it does is because of the ability of Jalen Hurts. You can't replace him. So that's going to be the hard part about, even if he does take a pay cut, how much is that pay cut really going to be, like y'all talked about? Now, here's the positive side of it. We've seen another team, a couple states to the west, I think it's southwest of you, where that's also the case, and he's gotten a big contract, but even though the contract is big, it's still team-friendly. Talking about Patrick Mahomes.
I'm saying.
So, it still can possibly happen but it's just, again, the negotiations, like I said, they're going to be tricky. You can still give a quarterback a big contract and still be team friendly because the Chiefs have shown that. But this also comes a certain standpoint where it's and of the running ability of Jalen Hurts. Well, there's only one situation that we really have right now where you kind of compare a running quarterback to running quarterback, and running quarterback, because I know how people like to put stereotypes on them. And that's, with what's going on with Lamar. So it's a tricky situation.
I think the Lamar situation's a little different, though. One, Lamar doesn't have an agent, so he's doing his own negotiations, which I think is really screwing him.
Oh, he is?
I think him
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he doesn't have an agent. I think his big issue is chasing that completely unrealistic, fully guaranteed deal that the Browns totally screwed up with Deshaun Watson. That set a really bad precedent. And I think even, other GMs realize that. Like Russell Wilson got his money after Deshaun Watson, and he didn't even get a fully guaranteed deal. So I think that there are certain GMs and executives and agents that realize that that's just not a realistic precedent. And I think Lamar needs to hire an agent to tell him, look, man, you're kind of screwing this up right now.
I mean, if you sit back and look at all the high paid, let's break it down. All the ones who got the money. Aaron Rodgers got paid. Look at him now. Struggling. That got paid. Look at him. Struggled and is still struggling. Who else got paid? Russell Wilson got paid. Ass this year. Straight ass. If you can't take a piece out of Tom Brady's playbook and be like, hey, look here, I was never the highest paid quarterback, but I'm always made sure that I had pieces around me or that we could keep to sustain what we have. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like Jalen Hurts mentally has a mental capability to say, you know what? Maybe taking a whole lot of money ain't going to be good. Again, user-friendly deal. I'm getting paid. I get bonuses and incentives and all that stuff, but I don't think that Jalen is going to sit back and be like, look, I want $60 million or that's it. Or no, he's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? He's not. He's going to get.
Sounds nice. It sounds nice. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Jalen damn near gets used as a running back, and when those quarterbacks are getting played like this and they're running the ball and having carries, they're not going to take less money right now. It's just not going to happen. If he was more of a pocket passer, Tom Brady-ish, maybe, but no. These guys out here now are running the ball. Look at what's happening to these running backs. Josh Allen, quarterback. Justin Fields, Trey Lance when he was there. They're out there. They're getting hurt. Not only are they getting hurt, but they're taking a lot of hits. And I don't think they're going to sit here and say, hey, it's time for me to get paid. I'm going to take a little bit less. I'm playing damn near two positions right now. Mm-hmm. They're not taking less. I'm like,
when I say less, I'm not saying he's going to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to offer him, $50 million. Well, I'm only going to take 30. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I don't think that he's going to overplay his hand. I'm you know what I'm saying? He's not going to cut off the nose to save his face. I don't think
he's going to get his value. He's going to take his value. It's a business. It's right. what his value is will determine. It's all about when your deal is up. When it's your turn, it's your turn.
Well, the other part about it too is we got to remember it's not even just what the player wants to do. Mm-hmm. What does the agent wants?
Yeah, because that's been a big driver.
You're absolutely right.
The agent wants their biggest cut possible too. That's also a big.
You're absolutely
right.
That's
why I bet you Saquon's agent's not very happy right now that he came out and openly said, "Do anything you can to keep me in New York." I bet you he's like, "You motherfucker."
There you go.
Let's think about it like this, right? Smith keeps producing the way he does. They give him his 5th-year option. In 3 years, AJ Brown's making $25 million. Smith's going to ask for 27. We paying Hurts 45, Brown 25, Smith 20. So we taking up what, $100 million between 3 dudes? Hell no.
Yeah.
The only thing that can save you is remember that new TV deal. I think the Amazon deal, it kicks in soon, so that cap's going to rise pretty quickly.
I think that's why Mahomes' contract is structured the way it is. What exactly. Is it, 2027? It jumps to a $60 million cap hit or something crazy like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that contract's team friendly right now.
I just wanted to say that I support Lamar in being his own man and being his own voice. And I know it's not conventional, but yeah. Sorry guys, I couldn't show my background. But I just wanted to say that no one has done it for real. I know people have represented themselves before. Ricky Williams represented himself.
And Richard Sherman.
And many more. Yeah, many more. have represented themselves. So Lamar is just a quarterback that's representing himself. I don't remember another quarterback that represented himself, and we're talking big money. Quarterbacks make the most money, so it's the most talked about. And everybody's like, Lamar, get an agent, so forth and so on, do the conventional thing. But at the same time, he's going to get the money that he, I guess, the market calls for, and he wouldn't have to have paid an agent. There is no one else. Like Jordan mentioned, agents have their own agendas, players have their own agendas. So he doesn't, the only person that has an agenda is him. So it'll work out for him. He'll get paid from somebody, whether he goes to Atlanta, whether he stays in Baltimore, or whether he goes anywhere else. He's going to get his money, and it's going to work out for him.
Hey, Damien,
I think the Ravens.
I heard Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's a real possibility.
Listen,
I think the Ravens would have to.
I've already said before, if Lamar comes to Atlanta, oh my God, like Rod might actually get season tickets if that happens, because
I might get him too.
No,
might get him too.
Know how crazy the city will pipe up if Lamar Jackson came to Atlanta. Oh my God,
it's over. Atlanta is back. Oh my God.
The Baltimore Ravens would have to show a different level of incompetence as an organization to not franchise tag Lamar Jackson and trade him wherever they're going to get the best offer if he decides not to sign.
Oh, I feel like either way, this is ending in a trade because, like, to your point, right? They're going to tag him if an extension doesn't get signed. He's already said, I'm not playing on the tag. So then after that, well, you have no choice but to try to trade him so you get something back for him.
I think if they trade him, he goes to Vegas, right? Vegas obviously looking for a quarterback upgrade. You can get Carr, number 7, and their first rounder next year for Lamar. Easy.
You don't have, if you put, I just say this, teams don't have to have these players. These players want to act like they're big and bad with that. If you don't play, you're going to get, no, they don't. They can franchise him for 2 years. You're going to show up for that money. You're not getting paid just yet. So if you don't show up, now you're going to get hit like that every practice,
every game.
Yeah. Every game too? Like that, you're not going to do that. That's too much money you're missing out on.
Eventually, that Bentley
play that if you want.
Taking off place.
Exactly. Like, that's 2 years. Think about that if you want to do that. I'm just saying.
It's a dangerous game to play.
Beating top ramen.
As Le'Veon Bell doing that, what happened to him? And where that got him?
Got sent to the Jets.
Hey, they move. These teams move on real quick from you. So think it's a game if you want, and think that you can't be replaced in this league.
That's all I'm saying. I would argue the Steelers still haven't moved on from Le'Veon Bell because, as good as Najee is,
he's not Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
And to your defense, look what Le'Veon Bell has done since he went back.
No, you're right. It's a good point. Good point.
So it's like I agree with the Steelers ain't been, but yeah, you're right. But he also now he's boxing.
Not
for long.
Fun. Not for long. Yeah, that's true.
Listen, I get it.
Not for long.
Fashion Sports News. Just FYI, I got a picture of Najee jumping over.
Oh
yeah, that's all me right there too. All me.
That's dope.
For sure.
Wow.
We photography. We brothers for real. Like
that's awesome.
We legit have been on trips the whole time. Like we go and shoot everywhere.
True.
Love it. Yeah. Hey, you guys. So check this out. After win or lose, we do overreaction shows. So if we dare, would you like to come back and talk about the? Yeah. Okay. Guys, were we going to do this on Monday or Tuesday?
I'm free Monday.
You're free Monday? Okay.
Monday.
Depends. I might be flying back home on Monday from Ocean City, so I don't know. Depending on what. If it's the same time, depending on when I get home, yeah. If I not, I'll let you know.
It would be probably the same time, so like 9:30 Eastern.
Yeah, I gotta see when I get my ticket.
Okay. Just let Rod know, and then we're gonna do like an instant reaction, just the gang, but going, yeah, Niners are like, I can't believe this happened.
I'm gonna be like,
we're gonna do that right away.
There won't be no crying for me. I might be mad, but I ain't gonna be crying.
I mean,
I'm gonna be happy regardless. I'm gonna be happy regardless. I don't know.
Shut up, Jordan. If it's a win, I might not go live. Rod, go live. I'm gonna be on the streets of 24th and Mission in San Francisco, partying my ass off with no alcohol. I don't drink, and I'll be like, I know, right? I'll be like, Niners, but yeah. If not,
in reality, whatever happens. Like I want the Eagles
doing
to
one
win,
of these.
They get beat. They get beat.
I'll be extra mellow.
Hey, just FYI,
win or loss.
Super Bowl, me and Rod and I, we were in DC.
I remember. I still got the video.
I know. And when we won, I called my supervisor. I was like, "Hey, man, I ain't gonna be in for the next 3 days." And he looked at me and said, "Nah, that can't happen. You gotta come into work."
This is dead serious. I witnessed this.
I said, "Look here. It can go a couple ways. Either you can let me leave, or I'm calling out sick. And if you need a doctor's note, I'll bring one." He said, "No, you need to have your ass at work." I said, "Well, no problem. I quit." And I quit right there.
I witnessed it.
I quit right.
Oh my God.
I witnessed this.
Hey, that's amazing.
I witnessed it.
Damn.
I witnessed that.
I quit my job right then and there.
I have the video still. That's why I'm laughing.
My mom picked me up in Maryland, and I
That's
went
bold.
The morning of the parade, I left my grandmother's house. I had to get in the backseat of my mom's car. I'm sorry, in the trunk of my mom's car because the car was so packed. And we drove from West Philadelphia all the way down to the Spring Street Bridge. Hopped out the trunk of the car, and we got there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was packed. But luckily, I was like 3 rows back from the fence at the front, and I stood there for 11 and a half hours and didn't move.
Well, let me say to Dennis's defense though, for him being able to quit jobs like that, you got to be invested. That's all I'm gonna say. You got to be invested. That man can do that. So I understand why he did what he did. But I was there. I watched him literally hang up on family if they couldn't pick him up. I literally watched it like, oh, you can't pick me up. Click, hung up. Next person. He was calling. I'm like, I literally watched that the year y'all won. So,
yo, cousin, you pick me up. Can you pick me up?
I was in the middle of Afghanistan the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Well,
it was
military, right?
During work and everything, but I missed one. I missed one
you
play.
Served?
Yeah, 7 years. I missed one play the whole game.
Salute
Philly special.
Appreciate your service.
Thank you for your service.
You missed the Philly.
I went out to go launch an aircraft, and some of the weapons dudes came back in. I was like, I bet you they kicked field goal, huh? They go, nah, I scored a touchdown. I was like, what? I ran back inside. I was like, I'm not doing no more work the rest of today. I don't give shit.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's what's up. Yeah. Well, I've seen 2 of you servicemen do something, or I've heard different stories. That's kind of funny though. But I definitely witnessed this. He was so happy. One of our boys that was with us, he slapped his hand so hard, the bead on his arm broke, and they was shattered all on the side.
They went everywhere.
They went everywhere. Like he was that hype.
Oh, hey, Ace, I'm still sorry about that. I ain't
Oh man, what a night! What a night!
Yeah,
well,
if I make it to the Super Bowl, I might make a trip back overseas because they 1 for 1 when I'm over there. So shit, I'm gonna do service to the country and the Eagles. We're going back to Afghanistan so we can win the Super Bowl.
Well, guys,
Damn right,
I've
man.
got to call it a night. Yes,
Shout
Nate
out to
is
the Air
an
Force.
airman too. One of our, yeah.
Retired Army.
Oh well, salute to you, my father.
I didn't want to put you out there. That's why.
No, that's okay.
Biological father was served in the Army, and my grandfather, he passed, but he is a decorated war hero in the Korean War. I think he also served during Vietnam, but anyways, yeah. So long story short, come back for the overreaction show. We're gonna do instant reaction. We're gonna do overreaction. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Philly fans are going to come back. We'll contact Jason, see if he can come back too. Thank you guys so much for coming
Appreciate
on. This
everybody
was
in the chat.
an amazing show.
Appreciate everybody else watching.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey, it's good to hear everyone's take on each side, and no one's like just 100% on their side. And they people, we see flaws on each side, so it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really good.
It's actually because it's realist. It's not somebody who's sitting up here just throwing just
Like
what I've
delusions.
heard in these like spaces and stuff. Like it's been reckless on both sides. Let me make that clear. It's been real reckless. Like they're not even arguing about facts. Now they're just talking shit. Just
like that's why I can't. That's why I'm happy the Cowboys didn't make it, because they'd have just been like, "We blown Eagles out 40-0. I don't give a shit." Y'all are so stupid, man. Don't none of y'all know nothing about football.
But you know what they say, right? You know we going to Super Bowl.
I just don't have a side. So there's that too.
They already talking about next year. That next year's their year.
Of course we are. I want to say this real quick too, because I know we're just talking about shout outs for Air Force. One of my church uncles, of course, Rod, I think you know what that means. Dennis, you know what that means, church uncle. Yeah. He was a red tail. So shout out to Ski Airman. I want to throw that up there too while we doing our shout outs.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Shout out to Dan.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to Dan the man. Thank you for
your
service.
Dan the
Thank
man.
you for your service.
Air Force, baby. Air Force all day.
There you go.
Who's your AFSC?
Your service.
I was in SATCOM.
Okay,
SATCOM. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Dan,
Thank you.
Yes?
Thank you to everyone in the chat. Miss Debbie, Miss Danielle, Big Red, our moderators. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you. Nate Triple NIC. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure
it's a unit.
Oh, okay.
I figured.
Marcus Christian, Wise, he had to go, but thank you, everybody. We're going to send everybody out. Please come back for the overreaction show. Eagles fans are coming back. And don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe.
Button.
Please.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Boom. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Go Niners.
Boom.
Bleed green, baby.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Right.
NFC Championship, baby. NFC Championship.
Right.
Niners.
Who wants it more?
Bang.
That's what it is.
Bang. Bang. Bang.
Bang,
And
bang.
bang.
R.I.P. John Witherspoon.
Thanks
Happy
for
birthday.
watching. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Kevin Hart.